Welcome to Texas Beard Adventures. I'm Brad Harrell, your host, and today we're going to be talking about Mark Carricker's welding table from high school. I have his favorite welding teacher, Mr. Vic. We are over here at Demolition Ranch's new auto shop area. He moved out of his house. Mayor kicked him out.
Guys, it's been a hard morning. My wife left me.
But we're gonna go over to this table and Vic's gonna show me all the features, gonna go over all the time it took to put it together, where they took it in their competitions through the Ag Mechanic program. So let's get after it.
What an honor it is to be able to come in here and kind of give the Paul Harvey story, the whole rest of the story on the table, because it's been a real long journey. Started in 2005 with a group of kids, 18 of them that were the first founding members of the program. And we first started with the 1970s shop. We had to get a dumpster, had to throw all the stuff away in the shop, and to build up a shop. We came up with our Muscle Guy logo, and then we started with the vision of building projects. Mark's Table was one of 5 projects that we built that year, and the hundreds of hours of after-school time that went into it to being able to build the table. On this side, the vise was something that got added after I took the table. We gave the table as a program back to Mark. He got the vise put on. I went over and actually helped him with a mag drill to mount the vise. The file cabinet down here on the bottom, the expanded metal that's down here, all of this, it's on the bottom. He did all of that after we gave him the table, including he mounted, check it out under here, he mounted this whole welder up underneath it. And man, I mean, what a motivation for all of us he was, all the way to the end, to have the energy to get out there and take off welding, building, and putting it, the final touches to his table that he wanted to do past high school. But what was so crazy was whenever, if you check out this in here was where an acetylene bottle goes, an owner size bottle goes down here in the bottom. But this screw that I'm backing out, of all things, man, like this whole table, this is what brought Mark so much happiness, was this screw, because he had the memory of, at one of the Ag Mechanics shows, the original screw broke, and he had to fake it through the show, and then we had to rebuild this one. So for 15 years, this screw got kicked around the shop, but by God's hand, it was still around to bring Mark that final memory. But this opens up so that you can put your full size or your owner size acetylene bottle in. This right here is for your oxygen acetylene leads to wrap around. And then this over here that was like a big mystery, this is for a full size oxygen bottle to fit in here and slide in, and then you put your regulator on, so when you close this door, this flap, you're able to get to your adjustment screw, and you can check out your gauges right through here, and nothing be able to hit it.
Now you can lay oxygen down, but you can't lay acetylene down, right?
That's correct. Yeah, acetylene, because the acetone that's inside the bottle has to be held upright so that the acetone doesn't go outside of the bottle.
I see.
Into the system. All right, well, what tripped Mark off the most was, and he leaned down like Brad and I are leaning down right now, and he was like, Vic, check this out. It was when I came back to help him mount the vise. He was like, look, we welded this whole thing out, like not just the outside, we welded the inside out. He's like, what were we thinking? I was like, I don't know, I guess I was just thinking like, more welding the better, you know, like just take off and weld. And so if there's like a tornado, this is definitely, Matt is gonna like get the family over here, strap himself to the table, and he's gonna be here.
That's right.
And then what was the other thing was like these weird designs that were here. And what's crazy is whenever I gave him back the table, I also went back to the high school and I got the original book, and that was the show book for it, and I took it back by Mark's, and he was so stoked to see that his original drawings for his blueprints for the table were there. And we went and looked, and these were actually like right here, this angle in here, it's at a 78-degree angle, and I have no idea why we picked that. I guess because we just thought it like looked cool at that angle. And for those of y'all that are out there, I mean, remember I said we started like in like a 1970s shop. Right. We didn't have much equipment to work with, so we like had one MIG welder, one chop saw. We were like Barney Rebel. Like totally.
Wow.
So it's amazing that we were able to produce this and 4 other projects with just one welder.
No kidding.
So the brotherhood also of the whole thing was to see the love of the family, not a program, come together.
True.
In the tribute video that we did to give the table back.
Yeah.
The love that his counterparts and the whole program, even kids that had never met him, because every project we ever built in the shop, and it went across the top of this table. And we originally were going to sandblast it and all redo it and fill in, like, you know, all of the cutting, grinding that had happened on it. And I'll never forget the Monday we took the table to Mark. He was like, man, if you would have refurbed it, I would have never talked to you again. You know, typical Mark,
yeah.
Right? And he said, I like the character. He said it means more to me that it has all the scars and the battle scars.
Yeah. And it only weighs 1,600 pounds, so it was pretty easy to get it to Mark's house.
Yeah, yeah, we just picked it up. The muscle guy picked it up and just carried it over there. On walking around the table, we've covered most of it, but like right down here, this is all rectangular tubing that's 1 by 2 by 11 gauge, and then we went 2 by 2 1/4-inch thick like angle iron. Like we did everything like to the max, stout as we could go. We said earlier this was all 3-inch channel iron.
Yeah.
And then we scoot over here. This was 1/2-inch expanded metal. I don't know why we didn't use 3/4 like number 9, even heavier, but I guess we were starting to feel the burden of the weight starting to come on us at that point. And then we went ahead.
Was there ever a point where you were like, this table is going to be too heavy? Is there ever a point to where a project is too much?
Nah, I'm always known for overbuilding. Overbuilding.
That's
everything.
where I get it from, because I am like, if a little is good, more is better. So thanks, I appreciate that.
Yeah, like you know what the heck? It's just a little bit of weight. Like they make forklifts. We'll pick it up with a forklift.
That's right.
We recessed the casters. We kind of lifted them up to give a little bit lower ground clearance to the table. And if memory serves me right, we ended up having to do that. I'm telling on ourselves, but I think we had to do that was because we got so excited. It was early on, before we had AutoCAD. Like Mark did all the pencil paper drawings to scale, like old school stuff. And I think we figured out the height of the table was a little bit too high, especially since I have a height problem.
You're vertically declined?
Yeah, exactly. It's getting worse the older I get. I'm getting shorter. But
yep.
We had made the table be a little bit lower by doing the casters that way.
So ergonomically, for working on something, you want it to be a certain height, but not too high, right?
Yeah, that's true.
What is it? Do you know?
That one
a
I
typical,
don't
a
remember.
typical countertop, you're a 41 1/4.
41.
A typical countertop is 36 at a house.
But Mark was a little taller than me,
Yeah.
so it was specifically for the taller.
For the taller.
Yeah, the taller people. I had a step stool that I used. Coming back all the way back to mounting the vise, man, I just can't stress, man, I'll cherish the memories of bringing the mag drill over and getting, I guess you could say, that final project to spend with Mark.
One last project, right?
Yeah, one last project, and it was so cool talking about old times and rehashing those memories of the program and what all we did from traveling all around the state, because you had said it early on about him winning state with it, and not only that, we hauled all the Ag Mechanic shows. So it was me and 18 kids traveling around, and under here where Mark, whenever he mounted his welder underneath here, because his original thought was, because his home garage was so small and space was limited, and I thought maybe, I was scared when I came on Monday that Jackie was going to meet me at the door with a shotgun, like one more thing in the garage.
Sure.
But I'm assuming that he put this plate down here in the bottom so that he could.
Oh, he did that.
Yeah, he put the plate down here in the bottom.
Oh, okay. I thought that was there.
No, he was. I think he had told me he was trying to consolidate as much stuff onto the table that he could to save on space.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is like no small feat for him to have mounted and built and done.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
I mean, for somebody without cancer, for them to do that in the time frame that he did it, it's good. And I mean, he was very inventive.
Oh yeah, he was. And the funny thing was he drove a Corvette whenever he was in high school, and he got on me about, like, Vic, you need to go on a ride in the Corvette with me. And I'm like, man, I hear it coming in. I don't know if I want to take my life in my own hands. So one day after school, I said, what the heck, I'll take a ride with you. And that's a ride that I'm telling you, Fiesta Texas had nothing on Mark Carragher as far as driving a Corvette. He could drive a vehicle, hands down. But Vic my heart wasn't quite ready for that adventure of a ride. And he got the biggest kick. The more I screamed like a little girl, the more the gas pedal went down.
The more he got into it.
Yeah, NASCAR didn't have nothing on him. I'll never forget meeting Dr. Lee the first time. It was after school, and we were working late, and all of a sudden, here comes this man walking in the shop. And so I walk out to greet him, and because I didn't know who he was, and he's like, well, hello, I'm Dr. Lee, and I want to know where my son is. That's basically kind of Vic's version of how that went down. Of course, my heart rate went up, and I said, well, I'm Mr. Vic, and well, Mark's working right over there, and he's working on this table. And Dr. Lee stood there with the most just amazed look on his face, and he said, wait a minute. My son is after school, working after school hours, and he's actually staying here till 9 or 10 o'clock at night.
He thought he was like messing around, just goofing off, doing what teenagers do, huh?
Oh yeah. I mean, he was so pleased and happy, and had such a great visit. Man, I mean, I think the world of Dr. Lee. He's definitely one of the best vets that ever practiced veterinary medicine, for sure, but just a superhuman being. I mean, but that's evident by his kids. And too, and on that note, out of all of this whole journey that everybody's been following of Mark's journey, it brings great peace to me to see that Mark got baptized.
Well, Mark, it's under that profession of faith that I baptize you, my brother, in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, buried in the likeness of Christ, raised to life.
Jesus Christ was his Lord and Savior, and that to me, we all hurt. We wish he was still here. Wish we could have him for 200 years here, but to know that we'll see him again in heaven, that's some cool stuff.
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about within these journeys.
Yep.
That we do, because the projects, I've always said it, the projects are just a medium of growing young men and young women, and getting their values right, that God's first, family second, and everything else falls in after that. Man, that's such a valuable lesson that if we could all follow, it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just like this screw brought Mark so much happiness, he was blown away, just like all the founding members were blown away, and myself, to think that we started from an empty shop to now having the likes of General Leroy Sisco, 3-star general, NRA board member, Military Warrior Support Foundation CEO, to join forces with guys like him, Rick Perry, Medal of Honor recipient Sal Junta, and the king of welding himself, Jesse James, to have him.
It's the Pope of welding.
Well, I call him the king of welding. King and Pope, I mean, split the difference.
Right. West Coast chopper, Jesse James.
Yep. Awesome people that believe in the youth of America, and to think that it all got started because of Mark and his group, those 18 original kids that believed in a crazy dream of a crazy guy, and look at where we're at.
Right. How many of the kids from your program just over the years have gone to be professional welders?
A ton. It's a split, about 50-50. 50% of them have gone on like engineering. Others have gone on welding, the trades. To me, our trades in America, there's a big deficit there.
Oh, absolutely. There's the average age of a plumber is like 65 or 67. I mean, it's up there. So when they took the trades out of the schools, because they used to teach electrical, plumbing, HVAC, all that back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, up into probably the 90s sometime. And then they pulled the plug on that program, and now the country's hurting because of it. So,
well, and Brad and I both, the guy that got me into teaching was Brad's old shop teacher, was Larry Waltisberger. And Larry, Mr. Waltisberger, he changed so many lives through the shop. And it's not necessarily making a welder, it's just making a better human being on how to take a concept and make it become a reality. And that confidence that's built along the way is just, it's huge. So we need more of it in America.
I didn't know that that's why you became a welding teacher.
Yep, sitting at a team roping in Kerrville, Texas, the year Larry retired. He said, I'm retiring, you ought to come take my job. So
you actually went to Clark for a little bit, didn't you?
I taught at Clark one year. And then we opened the program up here. And,
that's right.
And came up here and started the program.
I had forgot about that.
So yeah, it's just it's a humbling deal to realize where we started, and we've kept ourselves grounded to remember where we came from, and it isn't because of me that we've got all these awesome people supporting us. It's because of God opening up so many doors for us, and then having awesome kids, man. We're in the best community in the world, in my opinion. We've got the best district in the world, and has supported an unbelievable program, and we wouldn't be anywhere without that support from our district. So for that, I want to thank our district, because y'all believed in a vision and it's become reality, so it's pretty neat. All right, so it's exciting for us as a program, for me, to see it over here at Matt's new shop, and that it's going to be getting used. And most importantly, it's going to be really exciting to watch Abe be able to, as he grows up, to be able to be over here and get to learn how to weld on it. And we can't forget Ellie either, because girls actually make better welders than boys.
They do?
Oh, man, I'm telling you. Yeah, kid, you ever hang a picture for your wife and you're like, oh, that's good enough, and she'll make you mess with it enough till it's perfect?
Sure.
Oh, same deal. Girls,
I think they have a more attention to detail, right?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, we have attention deficit disorder the whole time we're on planet Earth.
What'd you say?
But yeah, exactly.
Wanted to give a huge shout out to Demolition Ranch for allowing me and Vic to come over here and video Mark's table.
And appreciate it, Matt. And it's exciting to see what all's going to come out of this new shop. All right, so Mr. Bearded Adventure here and I were talking about, and so you got to be curious. And yeah, I grew out this gray stash just so I could be like a legend on the man's channel. Actually, Brad and I go back all the way back to when Brad was like still in diapers, and I got to poke on him with like, sharp toothpicks and stuff. So if there's anything to blame on why Brad's the way he is now, I guess you could blame, I'm part of that reason, I guess.
That is for sure.
But no, Brad and I go back like a long, long ways with his whole family.
You and my sister went to kindergarten together, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we were in kindergarten all the way through school together. So he's got a great family, got a great channel. Man, hope tons of y'all follow the man on his channel. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to his channel.
That's good. You done this before? I'll catch you on the flip side. You dang hillbillies. I want everybody on it. Everybody.
1, 3. Feet first.
Wow! Chicken! My chicken got loose. Hey, have you seen my chicken?
Is that DNR?
What does that mean?
Salt, pepper, garlic.
Nobody knows what it means, but it's provocative and it gets the people going.